The human desire to achieve greatness is commendable.
No less so in the field of sports.
However, to earn champion status is not easy.
No one would deny the dedication necessary in hockey to win the Stanley Cup.
The commitment in American rules football to win the Super Bowl.
The determination in real football to win the FIFA World Cup.
The tenacity in baseball to win the World Series.
Or the conviction to win this monstrosity of a trophy in basketball.
For those of us here in heaven, the highest form of championship we can earn is this:
the golden halo of Lent Madness.
Created by the epic genius and Father Tim Skank, the title has been awarded a total of 4 times.
The priest and poet George Herbert won the first competition in 2010.
Celebrated author C.S. Lewis claimed victory in 2011.
In 2012, Mary Magdalene, the apostle to the apostles, overcame to win the day.
And just a bare 343 days ago, Francis Perkins, the architect of the New Deal, defeated Luke the Evangelist in Lent Madness 2013.
Now, 32 saints of the church have come together to compete.
8 of the competitors are returning with a second chance in the competition.
The winner will ultimately be chosen via you, the voting public of Lent Madness.
Now begins the greatest competition for those of us in heaven.
Now begins the struggle to achieve saintly victory.
Now begins Lent Madness 2014.
Live from the Club Oyatron 2100, it's the Archbishops Update.
Brought to you by Forward Movement and NSA, who thinks you need to call your mother more often.
I'm Thomas Grandma.
And I'm John Chrysostom. Lent Madness 2014 has begun as of 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time this morning.
I think we have some footage of the opening of competition by the Very Reverend Gary Hall, Dean of Washington National Cathedral.
Let's roll the clip.
It is my high honor and my distinct personal privilege to welcome you to Lent Madness and to sound the opening note of these festivities. So, let the Lent Madness Games begin.
Thrilling, John. Very thrilling.
Indeed, over the next 3 weeks of competition, we will be seeing the first round.
That's right, John. 32 saints in total, with 8 of them returning to competition from previous years.
Let's go to the board.
In the opening contest of Lent Madness 2014, we will see Basil the Great up against the relatively unknown Christine the Astonishing.
Basil was a metropolitan bishop in 4th century Cappadocia who helped to combat the Arian heresy there.
Where Christina was a 12th and 13th century woman from Belgium who had some, shall we say, astonishing things happen to her.
Truly bizarre and freaky is more like it. The Reverend Penny Nash's entry for today will go into much more detail. I'm going to surprise everyone and go with Christina.
Now, that is something that is astonishing. I'm sorry, but combating heresy goes a long way in my books, so I'm saying that Basil will come out on top.
Friday gives us a contest between Charles Henry Brent and Julia Chester Emery.
Originally from Canada, Brent served in the United States and the Philippines as a bishop,
while Emery was an activist within the Episcopal Church, who was responsible for the founding of the United Thank Offering.
Given the recent controversy regarding the United Thank Offering, it will be surprising to see how people vote. Personally, I think that Emery has the advantage here.
I don't know, Thomas. Bishop Brent will have some interesting backers.
Like who, John?
Well, for starters, the Canadians, especially the students, staff, alumni, and faculty of Trinity College of the University of Toronto.
Wonderful. Just what we need this year, a saint being backed by the alma mater.
This is why I think Brent will come out on top.
On Saturday will be the week's final contest, which we are dubbing the monastic matchup.
In one corner will be Alcuin, the 8th century English-born abbot.
In the other is Ephraim of Edessa, also known as Ephraim the Syrian. He was a deacon in the early 4th century and a monastic when Christian monasticism was in its infancy.
Which is why my money is on Ephraim.
Well, I am going to have to go with a fellow Englishman in Alcuin.
I think we have time for 2 questions, Thomas.
How about this one via email from Mr. John Miller?
Dear Archbishops, I don't speak Latin, even in church. Thank you, Archbishop Cranmer.
You are welcome, Mr. Miller.
So I am a little confused about these Latin names like Septuagesima that you and the SEC keep using. What happened to the 4th Sunday after the Epiphany?
Well, Mr. Miller, we are referring to the old names for the 3 Sundays before Lent begins. The last Sunday before Lent would be the 50th day before Easter. In Latin, 50th is Quinquagesima.
The names of the 2 additional Sundays for Lent were named by adding 10 and 20 to 50, thus giving us Sexagesima and Septuagesima, respectively, even though they are 54 and 61 days before Easter.
These days were removed from the calendars of Western churches due to reforms in the 1960s and 70s.
However, here at Lent Madness we like the countdown feeling, thus we will use the old Latin names for excitement.
How about this one from Scott Gunn's dog named George? Are dogs eligible for Lent Madness prizes?
Yes, of course, George. Dogs are eligible. However, you are not.
There are some contest rules. See here. Well, in case you can't read, family members of employees of Forward Movement are prohibited from entering.
And as you are a family member of Scott Gunn, it appears that would exclude you. Sorry, George.
George might not be able to enter, but you, the voting public of Lent Madness, should submit us a question by Saturday evening for a chance to win a Lent Madness coffee mug.
It has Francis Perkins on it. Conditions apply. We'll be back on Sunday afternoon, but until then,
remember to go to lentmadness.org
and vote for your favorite saint.